fashion in music changes rapidly, but some performers are fortunate enough to become idols for several generations. In 1972, the Swedish quartet Abba burst onto the world charts and quickly reached the heights of fame. Each of their stage performances was seen as an event, and every new song became a hit. Massive world tours, sold-out concert halls and stadiums, and millions of fans all attest to the colossal popularity of the quartet. We think many people will be interested to know what happened to the members of the star quartet after Abba ceased to exist. Agneta Fältskog. The talented blonde Agneta became popular in her early youth, long before the formation of Abba. Therefore, after the breakup of the legendary quartet, she immediately began her solo career. At the time, she was divorced from Björn Ulvaeus, the father of her children Linda and Christian. However, after recording several albums in English and Swedish, she disappeared from the radar for a long 8 years. It wasn't until 1996 that Fältskog emerged from the shadows and honestly spoke about the overwhelming fatigue from endless tours and media pressure. The music inside me went silent. I was even afraid to approach the microphone, Agneta confessed at the time. 2 years later, the singer released a disc with the favorite hits. Her next album, titled My Coloring Book, was released only in 2004. This collection of covers of the best songs from the 1960s was enthusiastically received by both fans and music critics. In 2013, Agneta recorded an album with completely new compositions, after which the BBC made a documentary about the star called Agneta, Abba and After. Agneta's personal life after her divorce from Ulvaeus was not particularly successful. In 1990, she married Dr. Thomas Sonnenfeld, but this marriage lasted only 3 years. Sometime later, the star had a romance with one of her devoted fans, a Dutch truck driver named Gert. However, very soon the Dutchman became so intrusive that Agneta had to seek police assistance. Currently, the former lead singer of Abba lives in the suburbs of Stockholm, writes songs for young Swedish performers, and occasionally appears on stage. Agneta is interested in yoga and astrology and enjoys horseback riding. She has a good relationship with Björn Ulvaeus, the grandfather of her 4 grandchildren. Benny Andersson. Benny first appeared on stage at the age of 8. In Sweden, he is known not only as a former member of Abba, but also as a successful composer, arranger, and producer. In 2001, he formed the Benny Andersson Orchestra, which remains popular in Scandinavia. Another aspect of Andersson's work is music for films and computer games. He composed the score for the film Mio in the Land of Faraway, based on Astrid Lindgren's book Mio, My Mio. In 1992, Sweden hosted the European Football Championship, and Benny Andersson wrote the anthem for the event. Benny's first marriage was very early, but at the age of 20, he already had 2 children. In 1966, Benny Andersson and Christina Grönvall separated. His son Peter and daughter Helen took their mother's last name. The composer was married to Annie Frid Lyngstad for 12 years. His current wife, Mona Nörklid, was a popular TV presenter in Sweden. Their son Ludwig is also involved in show business. In 2011, Andersson surprised fans with a candid admission. He had suffered from alcohol addiction for many years, but fortunately managed to overcome it. Annie Frid Lyngstad. Annie Frid, originally from Norway, has been singing on stage since her teenage years. In the early 1980s, the former singer of Abba attempted to build a solo career in the UK and the US. She even released a couple of albums, but they didn't achieve significant success. Annie Frid first married at the age of 18. With her husband, musician Ragnar Fredriksson, she had a son and a daughter. In 1970, the couple divorced. Annie Frid's second husband was Benny Andersson. They lived together for 7 years before getting married. Unfortunately, 3 years after their marriage, Annie Frid and Benny separated. In 1986, Lyngstad moved to Switzerland to be with her new lover, Prince Heinrich Royce von Plauen. In 1992, after officially registering their marriage, she became Princess Annie Frid Royce von Plauen. However, a dark period followed. Her adult daughter died in a car accident, and in 1999, her husband passed away from cancer. "Loneliness became my constant companion," Lyngstad stated with sorrow. However, in 2007, fate brought new love into Annie Frid's life. British Baron Henry Smith is 10 years younger than the singer, but this doesn't bother her. However, the couple didn't formalize their marriage. The star still lives in Switzerland, devoting herself exclusively to charity and other public activities. Björn Ulvaeus. Björn began his career in the early 1960s, so by the time Abba was formed, he was already a well-known performer in Sweden. After the quartet disbanded, he and Andersson worked on composition for the group Gemini and wrote the musicals Kristina from Duvemåla and Chess. However, their most famous project was the show Mamma Mia, based on the hits of the legendary quartet. Besides his creative work, Ulvaeus is involved in the IT business. Agneta Fältskog was Björn's first wife, giving him a daughter and a son. In 1981, he married Lena Kalerso, a music critic and journalist. They had 2 daughters together. About 2 years ago, the couple unexpectedly separated. Like Benny Andersson, Björn Ulvaeus is considered one of the most influential and wealthy figures in Swedish show business. Both are successful producers. However, nowadays Björn dedicates more time to public activities, while music gradually takes a back seat. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a like.